The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. So on this Saturday night special, let's take a look at where we stand as we play the games of October 2nd, 2001. 6 days left to go in the season. We think that the San Francisco Giants can clinch the National League West today. If they win and Arizona loses, that's all that matters. They don't play each other. So that would make San Francisco the Western Division champions, and there's still a chance that San Francisco passes Houston for the number 1 seed. The Astros have clinched the Central. The National League East is just a giant cluster. Philadelphia and Florida, if you were with us for the doubleheader on Friday, the Marlins won and cut the Philly lead 2-1. Atlanta is 2 back. It has a much better chance of winning the East than it does the wild card. We will focus on the National League wild card today. It'll be the Cincinnati Reds going to Wrigley Field to play the Cubs. The Cubs and the Diamondbacks have a 3-game lead over Florida, Cincy, St. Louis, and L.A. Chicago and Cincy directly affect the wild card. We'll also keep an eye on the American League East race between the Yankees and the Red Sox. They are done playing each other. We will keep an eye on the NL East race. If the Phillies can win, it makes everyone's life a lot easier. So here you go. It's a Saturday night special. Next! As Retro Sports Network presents 2001 in Action PC Season Odyssey. Today, from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois, it is the Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati Reds. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. We'll have a live show for you about 8 o'clock tonight, by the way. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. You know it's getting down to crunch time when I'm doing on Saturday night at 6 o'clock Eastern streams. So Pesky Paul and Bernie and John and Andrew, a good evening to you as well. The Cubs don't quite control their own destiny. They're 84-72. They are tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks if they finish the regular season tied. Game 163 will be here at Wrigley Field. The Reds, as we mentioned, along with that gaggle of teams, 3 back, a must-win game for the Reds. They have been one of the 2 very pleasant surprises on the year, along with the Chicago White Sox. The Reds are going to go with a guy by the name of Davis. Juan Cruz gets the call for the Cubs. Again, the Cubs, if they win out, pretty much be going to San Francisco regardless. And so that's the scene set for you. A cool, windy night in Chicago, and you just never know what's going to happen next. So Pesky Paul was living outside Cincy from 99 to 2001, went to a bunch of Reds games, real cheap tickets, so you know this team pretty well. Todd Walker will lead off for the Reds. Juan Cruz has won his only 4 decisions. He has an ERA of 2.41. He's 22 years old, ground ball plus pitcher, fastball at 93. He last pitched 6 days ago against the Pirates in an 8-5 win. He got the win. 5 innings, 95 pitches, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. A homer, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Overall for Cruz, 33 2/3, 36 hits, 12 runs, 9 earned, 2 homers, 10 walks, and 30 strikeouts. And with the Reds still in it, it actually gives us a chance to feature one Ken Griffey Jr., who, you know, in the back of his mind must be grumbling by the fact that the Mariners are probably the World Series favorites going into this. Here's the lineup for Cincinnati. Todd Walker over from the Rockies leads off at second. Guerrero at short will bat second. Ken Griffey Jr. in center goes third. Dimitri Young cleans up at third. Jennings in right will bat fifth. Adam Dunn will be in left going sixth. Cromer at first bats seventh. That's not Johnny LaRue behind the plate, but it is LaRue and he'll bat eighth. And Davis on the mound for Cincinnati. He will throw about 105 pitches and bat ninth. Defensively for the Cubs, Rondell White a 4 and a 3 in left. Michael Tucker, former Red, a 3 and a 3 in center. Sammy Sosa a 6 and a 7 in right. Bill Miller is a 3 at third. Gutierrez is a 3 at short. Eric Young is a 4 at second. How you doing, Rangers baseball fan? Fred McGriff a 4 at first. Got his knees. Excuse me. Machado a 6 and a 5 behind the plate, and Cruz is a 5 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Pesky Pole met a girl in college. Is Jane watching this? I don't think so. She was from Ohio. She moved back. She convinced me to go with her. Let's just say the only good thing was going to a bunch of Reds games. It's those Crocs, wasn't it? Anyway, here we go. Todd Walker at 315, 5 homers, 25 RBI. Games of October 2nd. We are now into the games that would have been played the week of September 11th. These would have been the games of September 12th. Are now being played October 2nd. So here we go. Cruz to Walker, and strike three. A good start. A 2-2 fast curveball. Got him looking. That brings up Wilton Guerrero. Wilton at 318. No homers and 7 RBI. Cruz deals. Ground ball to third. Miller has it over to McGriff. And there's 2 out. So an easy top of the first. Ken Griffey. And that obviously is his upper deck card from 1989. At 303, 21 homers and 61 RBI. So most of his games came in the second half of the year. Pitch to Griffey. Ground ball to first. McGriff underhands it to Cruz. And it's 1-2-3 for the Reds in the top of the first. Half an inning down. No score. So here is Lance Davis. Lance is a lefty. He has won his last 5 decisions. He's making his 19th start. He has 1 left after this. 9-3. And again, he's the price of a pound of pot roast. $3.99 at your local Osco Jewel. Lance is 24 years old. Fastball at 87. And a standard pitcher. He has not faced the Cubs. His last appearance was against the Phillies on September 27th. A 5 2/3 inning effort. He got the win, 6-2. 98 pitches, 5 hits, 2 runs, all earned, 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. So for Davis, 103 2/3, 110 hits, 48 runs, 46 earned. 12 homers. He's walked 32 and struck out 58. What's the big beer in Cincinnati? Huddlepool? Is that what you enjoyed, Mr. Poole? Eric Young will lead off for Chicago at second base. Ricky Gutierrez batting second at short. Sammy Sosa and Wright will hit third. Fred McGriff cleans up at first. Rondell White and left will bat fifth. Michael Tucker, the former Red in center, goes sixth. Bill Miller at third batting seventh. Machado behind the plate goes eighth. And Cruz, who can throw 105 pitches, threw 13 in his half of the first. Defensively for the Reds, Adam Dunn a 5 and a 7 in left. Ken Griffey Jr. a 7 and an 8 in center. Jennings a 5 and a 6 in right. Dimitri Young playing in for a bunt we're not going to do is a 3 at third. Guerrero, how you doing, Big Dave, is a 3 at short. Todd Walker a 7 at second. Cromer a 2 at first. LaRue, again, not Johnny, a 4 and an 8 behind the plate. And Davis is a 7 on the mound with a .967 fielding percentage. So with all that, Eric Young stepping in at .291, 7 homers, and 49 RBI. Davis starts the ball game, a ground ball to Cromer, runs back to the bag, 1 out. It is 60 degrees here at Wrigley Field, the 2nd of October, and the wind is blowing out to dead center at 13. Gutierrez at .264, 8 homers and 55 RBI. There's a ground ball to Walker. Todd throws to first for the out. Rumor is that how the Houday cheer was created. Oh! Fans were yelling for Hootapole. Beer one game they were losing and it turned into Houday when the Bengals came back and won. Wow! That's a great story. I hope it's true. Here's Sammy Sosa at .293, 47 homers, and 120 RBI. Sammy slaps out one to short. Guerrero made a late jump on it, and Sammy's going to beat that out. So an infield single for Sosa, not a threat to steal. 2 out for the lefty McGriff at .270, 10 homers, and 35 RBI. Lots of Skyline chili for Mr. Pohl when he lived there. Did Nomar have to send you a restraining order then, or was that later? Now, the thing is with Cincinnati chili, if you're not familiar with it, pitch to McGriff. Ground ball hard to first, Cromer to the bag himself, and that will do it. Sosa left on second, Cubs get a hit, that's it. After 1, no score. So Dimitri Young at .287, 19 homers and 71 RBI. Jennings and Dunn to follow. Cincinnati chili is sweet, as opposed to, it's not dessert sweet, but it's not the salty, savory that most of the country thinks of with chili. You had to follow Nomar from a distance. And it's also served, I usually mix mine with rice, but Skyline chili is served on spaghetti noodles. I've never had it. I can't tell you whether I'd like it or not. And they do the cheese on it, but I'm assuming no sour cream. We gave you Dimitri's numbers. Cruz delivers. There's a ground ball to third. Miller has it. Over to McGriff. And that's an out. For Robin Jennings. Over from Oakland at .204. A homer and 4 RBI. No stream tomorrow. Pitch to Jennings. Base hit right field. Sosa picks it up. Again, this is a must-win game for Cincinnati. This is game 156 for them and 157 for the Cubs. Michael says it's real good. Wasn't a huge chili guy before moving there either. I could start an argument and talk about different kinds of barbecue. And for those of us who live in the Northeast, Adam Dunn, by the way, at .276, 21 homers and 46 RBI, 63 strikeouts and 217 at-bats. It's weird to see kids in school. We don't start until the last week of August up here. But I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that those buildings are air-conditioned, and let's just start. Pitch to Dunn. Struck him out. That's 2 for Cruz. There's a real surprise. Adam Dunn struck out. A 1-2 fastball in on the black. Here is D.T. Cromer. D.T. looks as forlorn in that picture as Jose Canseco does when we do the White Sox. D.T. at .266 homers and 9 RBI. Am I right, Mike, that they start because of the weather to get him in where it's air-conditioned? So 2 out, Jennings on first. Cruz deals. Fly ball right field and long gone. Cromer may look forlorn, but the Reds look to be up by the score of 2-0. What a hit. Here it is again. Cromer just lined that one into right, and those would be bleachers. New York, they start after Labor Day. And Mike's dad's his birthday is September 7th. That's so you guys can watch the first week of tennis down in Flushing Meadow. We would start before Labor Day. Our first week would be 2 or 3 days. We'd have the 3-day weekend and then add it. Here's Jason LaRue. Don't call me Johnny. Jason at 233, 11 homers and 42 RBI. Joe Burrow. I'll read that as Vinny in a moment. So 2-0 Reds. Pitch to LaRue. It hit him. Oh, that's not going to make anyone real happy. LaRue got slugged on the knee. Cruz immediately apologized. He did not mean to do that. And then I'll bring up Lance Davis, 242. Not going to bunt with 2 out and 2 RBI. I'll read this. Joe Burrow is so beloved in Cincinnati that he was not crucified after saying he didn't understand why anyone would put spaghetti in chili. Okay. Pesky Pole says, not sure what the reasoning is, really. I actually would prefer year-round school. I think a lot of people would get the breaks between each semester and such. And Ranger Baseball fan says, I'm not really sure. I'm from Michigan, and we started after Labor Day. I moved to Texas in '84, 40 years ago. Wow. They've always started in August. I work for a school district. I take it year in the Metroplex, and our kid started this past Tuesday. I lived in Las Cruces for a year as a kid, and somehow they got us in on Labor Day, and we were... Now, when do you guys finish? Oh, San Angelo. Okay. So that's down in the San Antonio area, right? When I lived in Las Cruces, we started around Labor Day. We were done Memorial Day. Then again, snow days in southern New Mexico. Davis has to swing. There's a base hit in the left field. And White will pick it up. LaRue, what's he going to do? He's going to go for third. White's going to throw to Miller, and they got him. Oh, that is big. So LaRue was hustling around second, and a good throw by Rondell White to get him. And after an inning and a half, 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors, it's the Reds 2, the Cubs nothing. You finish in mid-May. I suppose that's to beat the heat. Jamie says we always started after Labor Day in D.C. and went to mid-June. But down here in Florida, your daughter always went in mid-August but got out before Memorial Day. I would assume that has to do with the heat. We finished this year before June, Pesky Pole says. We started even earlier this year than ever before. The good thing is we finished the fall semester before Christmas break, which you like much better. I'm assuming you teach high school that you do midterms, right? Rondell White at 305, 14 homers, and 56 RBI. White swings a ground ball to second. Walker behind the bag, and there's 1 out. So here's Michael Tucker, lefty versus lefty, but it's reverse splits. Tucker's better against lefties. 240, 7 homers, and 32 RBI. San Angelo's 3 hours west of Austin. We're actually in Central Texas. You don't come to San Angelo. That sounds like a Gunsmoke plot. You don't come to San Angelo, population 100,000, unless you have a reason to. You can just see the swinging saloon doors and that, right? Well, as always, thanks for stopping in. Pitch to Tucker. There's a fly ball to right. Back goes Jennings, and that will be a catch. 2 out for Miller at 282. 7 homers and 27 RBI. Not far from the truth. Yeah, Pesky says, high school, we used to come back to Christmas break and would have like 10 days left. It was a pain. When my second high school did midterms, and there were always the week of the Super Bowl. Pitch to Miller. There's a ground ball to Cromer. Takes it to the bag himself at first, and that will retire the side. Cubs get nothing, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third here at Wrigley, 2-0 Cincinnati. So top of the lineup, it'll be Walker, Guerrero, and Griffey. Cruz, 2 innings, 31 pitches, his opening 9, 3 hits, a homer. A moment ago to G.J. Cromer, and he has struck out 2. Walker laces that one in the center for a hit. As a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, the last thing I wanted to do the week before the Super Bowl was concentrate on stuff that was actually important. Here's Wilton Guerrero. Wilton is 0 for 1. But nevertheless, I survived. Ground ball, left side, base hit. So the Reds are racking Cruz. Gutierrez should have made that play. And that brings up the kid, who's 0 for 1. First and second, nobody out here in the third. 2-0 Reds. Long drive, center field, long gone. Griffey put that in the bleachers under the scoreboard. And in a game that the Reds must win, they now lead it 5-0. And unlike most home runs hit by the opposition here in Chicago, that one isn't getting thrown back. My goodness, Titties. Holy cow is right. Holy cow. So if he hits Young, the entire city of Cincinnati will come after Juan Cruz. Dimitri is 0 for 1. He draws the walk. So Cruz is flustered. He's only thrown 44 pitches. You're probably not going to win this game. You don't need to win this game if you're a Cub fan. So they're going to let Cruz pitch for a little bit longer. Here's Robin Jennings, who singled and scored in the second on the homer by Cromer. There goes Young to throw down to Gutierrez, and Dimitri has his 10th stolen base of the year. Not something you think about with Dimitri Young is stolen bases. So there's still nobody out, and a 1-ball count to Jennings. Chopper to Young. They'll go to first. McGriff is there, and Jennings is retired, and Young moves to third for Adam Dunn, who, surprise, surprise, struck out his first time up. Ground ball, right side, base hit, and it's 6-0 Cincinnati. John saw his first real-life tumbleweed driving from San Antonio to El Paso. And your first Roadrunner, including a giant wooden one in Fort Stockton. Oops, we got a whole bunch of things. I'm not sure what this is in Dimitri Young's career. The Cromer family are all from South Carolina, the Gamecocks. Jamie is wondering what kind of fun mess the wild card could turn out to be possibly be when this season's over. Look, I want to start the playoffs next Tuesday. I really want that to happen. Things need to get settled. John Goodell says the Cubs may not need to win, but after 69, they may be getting there. They're tied with the Diamondbacks, by the way, so they're not ahead. They still got work to do. DT, Cromer, Tripp, and a couple others that never got to the majors. Okay, so here's Cromer. His homer in the second made it 2-0 Cincinnati. His base hit in the center field. Going to have me look into the Chicago bullpen because Cruz is leaving a giant egg on the mound. So 1 out for LaRue. Who we got? They could go with Tapani and Tavares. And so we'll think about it. Cruz is not tired. They still played the one-offs in 2001, fingers crossed. The Phillies lead the Marlins by 1 game. LaRue was hit by a pitch after the Cromer homer in the second. First and second, 1 out. Struck him out. That's big. So a 1-2 fastball, curveball right in there at the knees. Here's Lance Davis, who singled his first time up. I've not looked to see where a prospective NL East 163 would be. We know that if the American League East is tied, the Red Sox would play the New York at Yankee Stadium. And if the Cubs and Diamondbacks end up as tied, Chicago won the season series, so they would play at Wrigley. No coin flips here. Pitch to Davis. Ground ball up the middle. Gutierrez has it, throws to McGriff, and that will retire the side. The Reds, however, get 4 on the monster bomb by Ken Griffey Jr. Bottom of the third, 6-0 Reds. So here's Robert Machado. Robert at 139, a homer and 10 RBI. Machado into right center field. Off the ivy, Jennings will throw it in the infield, and Robert has a double. So Cruz has only thrown 65 pitches. They need him to eat some innings. So he's going to square. He's hitting 1 for 13, 077. He squares. The bunt is down. LaRue throws to Walker covering. Machado moves to third. So the opening 9 for Lance Davis, 2 1/3, 28 pitches and 2 hits. Eric Young is 0 for 1. Davis deals. Base hit right center field. Griffey should have made that play. It was going to drop, but Griffey was late to get the jump on there, and EY has his 50th double of the year. So it's now 6-1. And as you know, stranger things have happened on the channel. Here's Gutierrez, who is 0 for 1. Davis's pitch. Ground ball to Guerrero. Young should hold. The throw to first. And Gutierrez is retired. 2 away for Sosa, who singled in the first. Gets away from LaRue, and Young moves to third. So the pass ball, and the Cubs are trying to cut in further in the lead. It's a full count to Sosa. Davis, undoubtedly pitching in the biggest game of his career, delivers. Walked him. Not a bad walk if you're a Reds fan. That brings up McGriff, who is 0 for 1. Lefty versus lefty, but McGriff hits lefties better than he does righties. So first and third, 2 out here in the third. The Reds lead the Cubs 6-1. There's a ground ball to Cromer, and I believe Cromer misplayed it. He did. It got away. He kicked it, and he tried to kick it up to his glove, and instead he kicked it like a soccer ball. McGriff is safe. The run scores, and it's 6-2. So here's Rondell White. Sosa on second, McGriff on first. It is one of those nights at Wrigley where maybe no lead is safe. Pitch to White. Base hit left field. Dunn will pick it up. What's Sosa going to do? He's going to round third and try to score. Dunn has a decent arm. He throws it in, and it's now a 3-run ball game. It's 6-3. John Kuzniak hoping that the Phils don't go down to the final 2 days, because after they were eliminated, they played scrub, September baseball. Still managed to sweep the Reds, though, to the end of the season. Anyway, so the Cubs have a 3 spot on the board here in the third with 2 out, and Michael Tucker, who is 0 for 1. Davis, as soon as I put the mouse in the right spot, will pitch. Tucker strikes out, but that was a big inning for the Cubs. They get 3 runs on 3 hits, and the error by Cromer. And after 3, it's the Reds 3, or the Reds 6 rather, the Cubs 3. So Todd Walker will lead off for Cincinnati in the 4th. Cruz, opening 9, 65 pitches, 3 innings, 8 hits. The homers, Griffey and Cromer, has walked 1 and struck out 3. By the way, I need to be done by 7:30 so we can start to set up for digital dice. Walker up the middle for a base hit. The Cubs defense is doing them no favors. So here's Wilton Guerrero. He is 1 for 2. He singled and scored on a 3-run bomb by Griffey. That is a base hit up the middle. Now, do I double switch? Will that be on YouTube? Yep, that's going to be on Dave's channel, live tonight about 8 o'clock. I guess I got to make the move. Cruz couldn't do the shutdown inning if he tried. And so who can pitch to a lefty, I guess, is the better question. And they're going to go with Ron Mayhay. Just because he would bat 3rd in the inning anyway. Mayhay, making his 17th appearance, is 30 years old. He's a changeup pitcher. The fastball tops out at 92, and he's a standard pitcher. He is 1-0 with a 1 save and an earned run average of 113. He came up to the Cubs on August 22nd. And I think was the last of the scrub players to be in the majors after the 95 strike. He last pitched on the 29th of September against the Astros, that big weekend series here at Wrigley. In a 4-2 loss, he went 1 inning, 15 pitches, a walk, and a strikeout. So you'll never see a legit Ron Mayhay baseball card because he was never part of the union. He threw 16 innings so far, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. That home run, by the way, came on September 1st against the Braves. He has walked 11 and struck out 19. The S in the left column donates, yes, short rest. They're tired. And you don't want to ever pitch a tired pitcher in Action PC. They will, well, they'll get Christmas treed. They'll get lit right up. So Walker on second, Guerrero on first, nobody out, and Mayhay's focus is on Griffey. Like Millar and Maloney. There you go. Oh, that's right. Griffey into right field. Sosa will make the catch for the first out. Walker will tag. They're going to send Walker. Sosa, they're going to try for it. Relay to, no, direct throw to third. Miller is there. Walker is out. They got him. Oh, my goodness. 2 out. What a throw by Sosa. Dimitri Young is 0 for 1 with a run scored, a stolen base and a walk. No, D2D runs on time. If this game runs past 7:30, we will pick it up Monday at noon and then go on to the regularly scheduled game already not in progress. So it's not like 60 minutes. We might have 5-minute leeway or something like that, but just having us out here because we've got 9 runs on the board through 3 2/3. Young, the Heidi game. Young 0 for 1. He has walked. He stole 8 bases in real life. He has 10 in the replay and scored his 77th run. Mayhay deals. Young swings. Ground ball to Gutierrez. Over to McGriff. And that will retire the side. So the Reds threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 6-3 Cincinnati. We'll be quick with this because most of you saw it at the beginning. San Francisco can clinch with a win or an Arizona loss. Philly is 1 game up on Florida. The National League wild card, Arizona and Chicago are tied with 84 wins. Florida, the Reds, the Cardinals, the real-life wild card, and the Dodgers are 3 back. Atlanta is 4 back. In the American League, the White Sox, Seattle, and Oakland have all clinched. The Yankees lead the Red Sox by 1.5 games. The East winner goes to Seattle for that best of 5, the Who-Dey game. So Davis to face Miller, Machado, and a pinch hitter. Bill is 0 for 1. Davis starts the 4th. Ground ball, a chopper to Guerrero. Has to run in for it over to Cromer for the out. So here's Machado. Robert has a double and a run scored. Ground ball to Cromer. And DJ takes it to the bag himself. 2 out. So here's Mayhay. Gets a decent hand. Who can hit a lefty? Again, reverse split can be Roosevelt Brown hitting as a pinch hitter at .378. A homer and 7 RBI. Overall, .255, 2 homers and 17 RBI. Pitch to Brown. There's a long drive center field, and that's gone. So the wind blowing out, and Brown and Griffey have found the jet stream. That's his 3rd of the year, and it's now a 2-run ball game. My goodness. There is hope for the Bear yet. So Brown makes it a 2-run ball game. And that'll bring up Eric Young, opening 18 for Lance Davis, 65 pitches, 3 2/3, 5 hits. The home run a moment ago to Roosevelt Brown, a walk and a strikeout. Young is 1 for 2. He is doubled, driven in a run, and scored. Davis deals. Young a ground ball to Cromer, who takes it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. We've played 4. The home run by Brown is huge. 1 run, 1 hit. And we go to the 5th here at Wrigley. 6-4 Reds. And now they will go with the old Met, the old Twin, Kevin Tapani, who was not scheduled to start again this year. He doesn't normally relieve. In fact, this is his first relief appearance, but you need somebody to get you some outs. Tapani is 37, fastball at 86, and a standard pitcher. He started and lost to Houston 5 days ago in a 4-1 ball game. We had that here at Wrigley. 7 innings, 110 pitches. That's right. He took the no-hitter in the 7th, right? And then lost the ball game. Gave up the homer, 4 runs all earned, and struck out 8. So overall for Tap, 169 2/3, 160 hits, 79 runs, 70 earned, 25 homers. He has walked 34 and struck out 135. The 2001 Reds are showing they can lose leads like the 2023 version, says anonymous commenter. So Robin Jennings is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored as we start the 5th. Fly ball, right field. Sosa by the bullpens, 1 out. For Adam Dunn, who is 1 for 2, he has singled, driven in a run, and struck out. Tapani deals. There's a little ground ball to McGriff, who gives it over to Tapani, and Dunn doesn't have a lot of speed, and he's retired 2 away. For D.T. Cromer, who homered in the second to make it 2-0 Cincinnati. He also has singled, so he has 7 homers on the replay now with 11 RBI. Struck him out, so that worked, and we're halfway home on a rainy night in Burlington. We don't usually do Saturdays, but we've reached that time of the year. It's the Reds 6, the Cubs 4. It's 108 degrees in San Angelo, Texas. And once again, you can just see that swinging saloon door. So you better order a Lone Star or a Coors, none of those Eastern beers or anything like that. All right, here's how we got here. You joined us late. D.T. Cromer, a 2-run homer in the second to make it 2-0 Cincinnati. They hit a 7th of the year. In the third, they sent 9 to the plate, including a mammoth homer by Ken Griffey Jr. to dead center, his 22nd of the year to make it 5-0. Adam Dunn had an RBI single to score Dimitri Young to make it 6-0. And then back came the Cubs. They batted 8 in their half of the third. Eric Young doubled to score a catcher Machado to make it 6-1. Fred McGriff to fielder's choice to make it 6-2, and then Rondell White singled to score Sammy Sosa to make it 63. And a moment ago, in the bottom of the fourth, a pinch hitter, Roosevelt Brown, homered to center to make it a 2-run ballgame. Not raining yet in Clamtown. Never heard Claremont referred to as Clamtown. 21 consecutive days in triple digits. Ouch! Too hot to go to the saloon. Lance Davis, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. That Cromer error looms large. And the homer to Brown, he's walked 1 and struck out 1. Cruz did not get out of the fourth. 3 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs all earned. The 2 homers, Cromer and Griffey, walking 3 strikeouts. Mayhay did his job. He got Ken Griffey Jr. out, and Kevin Tapani is on the hill now. Gutierrez is 0 for 2. Davis is pitched to start the bottom of the 5th. Ground ball to Cromer, 1 out. When I lived in New Mexico, we flew to the nearest airport in Las Cruces was in El Paso. And we had a 3:30 a.m. flight from El Paso to Dallas, Chicago, and then to Albany, New York. We had, I think, a 10-day stretch where it had gone over 100. Sammy Sosa, by the way, has a single, a walk, and a run scored. He's 1 for 1. Davis deals. And there's a fly ball to left. Back goes Dunn. Adam makes the catch, 2 out. I'll bring up Fred McGriff, who's 0 for 2. So we're rushing to get to the airport. It's like 10 after 3 in the morning as we're going down I-10 at God knows how fast. And there are billboards. It's Texas, of course. And they gave you the time and the temperature. And at 3:10 in the morning on the 5th of June, 1980, it was 104 degrees in the desert. 104 in the middle of the night. Pitch to McGriff. There's a line drive to Walker, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 6th. 6-4, Cincinnati. So Jason LaRue, Lance Davis maybe, and Todd Walker, Texas Ranger, will bat here for the Reds. We had Walker on quite a bit the first half of the year. I wonder who Colorado got in return. Someone will tell me. LaRue is 0 for 1, by the way, with a strikeout. There's a liner to left that's going to drop in front of Rondell White. So LaRue is on with a single. That's the 11th hit for the Reds. Davis is 1 for 2 with a single. Will play for the bunt. Jamie's daughter is playing the final preseason game tonight against the ULL. It is University of Louisiana Lafayette. Did I get that right? 107 at game time in Louisiana. Oh. Pitch to Davis. Drops one down. Machado throws to Young, covering at first for the out. So LaRue moves to second, 1 out for Walker. Todd's actually done pretty well. And humid in Louisiana. Ugh. Makes me want to go get some crawdads. Change places with him in the swamps. Walker is 2 for 3. Todd has singled twice, scored, and struck out. Oh my goodness. Struck him out. 2 for Tapani since coming in the ballgame. He swung on and missed a 1-2 fastball out of the zone. So here's Wilton Guerrero. Wilton is 2 for 3. He has singled twice and scored. There goes LaRue. A ground ball to third. Miller has it. Looks LaRue back. Throws to McGriff. I don't know why he'd look him back because there's 2 out and Guerrero is retired. No runs, a hit, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th here at Wrigley. 56 degrees, and the wind is blowing out to center now at 20. Good luck. 6-4 Reds. So White, Tucker, and Miller to face Davis. Rondell is 1 for 2. He has singled and driven in a run. Davis starts the 6th. Struck him out. A full count fastball out of the zone. Swung on and missed. That brings up Michael Tucker, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ground ball right to Davis. A comebacker over to first. 2 out. We should get this one all in. Here's Bill Miller. He's 0 for 2. She's a soccer player, right, Jamie? Pitch to Miller. Ball 4. So the tying run is now at the plate. And that'll do it for Davis. Scott Sullivan coming into pitch. Bottom of the 6th, pitching change from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Sullivan making his 87th appearance. He is 30 years old. He throws the fastball at 90 and a fly ball pitcher. Okay, soccer, that's right. Cool. He is 5-5 with 2 saves and an earned run average of 302. Fly ball pitcher's maybe not what you need tonight. Against the Cubs, 10 appearances, 11 1/3 innings, 16 hits, 6 runs all earned, walking 3, striking out 10, and going 0-1 with an ERA of 4.76. He has had a few days rest, pitching on the 30th against the Expos in a 6-4 win for the Reds. 1 inning, 18 pitches, a hit, an earned run, and a walk. Overall, Sullivan has been good for the Reds. 101 1/3 innings, all in relief. 90 hits, 38 runs, 34 earned, 5 homers. He has walked 39 while striking out 85. So Machado is the tying run. He has a double. He's going to bat here so Tapani can go another inning. Hopefully. He has doubled and scored. Base hit right field. Now you got something to think about. Jennings goes to fish it out. Miller rounds third and scores. And now that will do it for Tapani because it's a 1-run game and the tying run is in scoring position. Reds fans are sucking down those hula-pools. Who can hit a righty? And the answer to that is going to be Delino DeShields. As a pinch hitter, DeShields is at 286 with 4 RBI. Overall, he's hitting 236, a homer, and 10 RBI. The Reds, if you joined us late, had a 6-0 lead in this game. The Cubs got 3 in the third, a pinch hit homer from Roosevelt Brown in the fourth, and another run to make it 6-5. DeShields over from the Orioles. Sullivan deals. Gets away from LaRue, and Machado, who has no speed at all, is on third following the pass ball. My goodness, a 2-1 curve that got away from LaRue. He handled it and then couldn't find it. So it's a 3-1 count with 2 outs to DeShields. Sullivan deals, and DeShields takes first. He has good speed. Eric Young is 1 for 3. He has doubled, driven in his 50th run, and scored for the 92nd time. DeShields will stay put for the moment. You don't want to get out on a rundown. Pitch to the plate. Ground ball to Cromer, and misplays it. This game is tied. D.T. Cromer has made his second error of the ball game, and it's now 6-6. And somewhere in the confines of western Massachusetts, Al Red Sox fan is picking up some sticks. So DeShields on second, Young on first. Gutierrez is 0 for 3. Goodness gracious, Buffy St. Marie. Sullivan deals. Slow ground ball to Guerrero. He'll go to Cromer, but the damage is done. We got a brand new ball game. 2 runs, 1 hit, and 1 error. And after 6, it's the Reds 6, the Cubs 6. You can't bring in Flash Gordon. Kerry Wood can't go. Dave Weathers in for DeShields again to try to slow down Griffey. Jamie thinks that Buffy St. Marie was in your middle school. She's an old broad from Canada. You're just a reasonably aged man from Washington, D.C. Dave Weathers making his 29th appearance. Send your cards and letters too. Weathers is 1-3 with a 3.62 ERA. He is over from the Reds, oh, by the way, on the trade deadline. He's 31, fastball at 91, and a ground ball pitcher. Stormy has not faced his old team. He last pitched on the 27th. That lost to the Astros we had here on Retro Sports Network, 4-1. He went 1 inning, allowed a hit on 24 pitches and a strikeout. So Weathers 32 in the third, 36 hits, 17 runs, 13 of those earned, 5 homers, 12 walks, and 22 strikeouts. I would venture to guess that Buffy St. Marie might be a pretty common name for people of our generation. Ken Griffey Jr. is 1 for 3, and in the third, smashed a 3-run homer to make it 5-0 Cincinnati. That seems like that was a long time ago. Griffey hits a ground ball to second. Young over to McGriff for the out, 1 away. For Dimitri Young, who is 0 for 2. He has stolen a base, a walk, and a run scored. And with 1 out in the 7th, I would remind you it's probably a good time to fasten your seatbelt. As old Betty Davis would say, buckle up, we're in for a bumpy finish. Or ride. Hard ground ball to McGriff. Fred to the bag himself, 2 out. That brings up Robin Jennings, who would like to blur some lines of his own. He's 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. John Goodell rooting for the Reds. Pitch to Jennings. Base hit right field. Gets past Sosa. Jennings has 2 at least. Sosa has to go dig it out of the ivy. Jennings rounding second. The throw is cut off by Young. Jennings digging for third. And he is in there for his 3rd triple of the year. So that'll bring up Adam Dunn, who is 1 for 3. He has singled, driven in a run, and struck out. Weathers deals, popped up, right side, well hit. Oh my goodness, that took right off, and it's 8-6 Cincinnati. I thought that was just a pop-up, but that 22-mile-an-hour wind, that ball turned into the Energizer Bunny. It just kept going and going and gone. My goodness, what a baseball game we got today. Someone want to check to see if Bernie's okay? So here's D.T. Cromer. His homer in the 2nd made it 2-0 Cincinnati. He is singled and struck out, but his 2 errors in the field have been costly. The Cubs had to take out Tapani to get the pinch hit, and it worked. And Cromer walks. So here's LaRue. Jason 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Fly ball, left field. Tucker makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Stretch time, 8-6 Reds. Jamie says maybe we get a 23-22 game. It's kind of looking that way, doesn't it? This is a really special, isn't it? Bernie's listening while taking a nap. He's going out tonight. It was up late last night. I hope you have a good time, Bernie. Sammy Sosa is 1 for 2. He has singled, scored, and walked. It's 8-6 Reds as we start the bottom of the 7th. Sullivan still on the mound. Liner, right field, all the way past Jennings. Sosa's got the afterburners on. He's got 2. Walker will throw to third. Sammy slides, and he is in there. His 4th triple of the year. And immediately the tying run for the Cubs is at the plate. And Fred McGriff, who is 0 for 3, 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the Reds. I never look at the chalkboard, Jamie, and predict what's going to happen. He has left, the Reds have left on 6. That's the amazing thing. We have 20 hits in this ball game and a lot of runs. 6 runs for the Cubs, 7 hits, no errors, and they've left on 5. Yes, I believe, John, that was a 4-homer game for Mike Schmidt. McGriff up the middle for a base hit. Sosa will score. It's 8-7 Cincinnati. Rondell White, the batter, he is 1 for 3. He has singled, struck out, and driven in a run. McGriff, the tying run. White, the go-ahead run. Sullivan's pitch. Ground ball to first. Cromer will take it himself. McGriff moves on to second. 1 out. And Hector Mercado is going to pitch. Good luck, Hector. Not sure if that's who the Reds really want, but beggars can't be choosers. He's 3-6 with an earned run average of 465. Yeah, this one has been great, Bernie, and it's more important to get out. We're talking hockey tonight with a channel that maybe most of you don't know. Hector is 27, ground ball pitcher, ground ball plus pitcher, which is what the Reds need. Fastball at 94. He has faced the Cubs 7 times, 4 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 5 earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 7. The good news, if you're a Cub fan, is his ERA against them is 11.25. He last pitched against the Expos on the 30th in that 6-4 win. Oh, the Schmitty 4-homer game was a different high-scoring game in '76. Thank you, Mr. Philly fan. 13 pitches, a hit, and a strikeout for Mercado. Jamie thinks that the Phils were up 20-9 or something at one point in that game. Wasn't there a fight? That game, I remember watching part of that on WGN. Anyway, Mercado, 50 1/3 as we cross the 7 o'clock hour here in the East. 48 hits, 31 runs. Yeah, this 23-22 game was in '79. 5 homers, 30 walks, 59 strikeouts. One out. Bottom of the 7th, the tying run is Fred McGriff on second base in an 8-7 ball game. And remember, Tucker hits lefties very well. It's a reverse split. Pitch to Tucker. Struck him out. Oh, 1-2 curve. Got him looking. For Bill Miller, who is 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. And he walks Miller with 2 out. For Machado, who is 2 for 3, he has doubled twice. He's driven in a run and scored twice. Yep. At WGN on cable in New Hampshire. Used to show the Cubbies. At that time, showed local Chicago commercials. So don't forget after the ball game to go to your Chicagoland Chevy dealer and drive a Volt today. So first and second, 2 out for Machado. Pinch hitter would be pit for Weathers. Weathers isn't pitching the 8th. MJ hit what Schmidt hit one of both for both Rushells, Rick and Paul, who will never be confused as Mr. Universe. Pitch to Machado. Got him! Oh my goodness, what clutch pitching. Mercado pumps his fist as he goes back. We've played 7. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. After 7, it's the Reds 8, the Cubs 7. And we'll do the grand prize game for Bozo Circus right after this. So Weathers is going to see what they do with Mercado, who is clearly not going to bat here. It'll be Brady Clark. Clark is a righty as a pinch hitter, 261, 2 homers and 7 RBI overall. 303, 5 homers and 13 RBI. As Kyle Farnsworth gets the call in the 8th, he will lead off the bottom of the inning, so it'll be another pinch hitter. Farnsworth, making his 76th appearance, is 7-6 with 3 saves and a 3.20 ERA. He is 25 years old. He throws a hard slider at 96, and he is a fly ball pitcher. Now, the wind has calmed down a bit. It's at 14 to dead center. But still, the Cubs do not want the Reds to score again. Farnsworth has faced the Reds 7 times coming into this. 5 2/3, 6 hits, a run it was earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. His last appearance came on the 27th against Houston. Went 1 inning in that 4-1 loss, 9 pitches and a strikeout. Farnsworth, 76 innings, 54 hits, 27 runs, all earned, 10 homers, 21 walks, 86 strikeouts. So Brady Clark is ready, Kyle Farnsworth is ready, and the 8th inning starts with a ground ball to Young. Eric has it, throws the first one out. So here's Todd Walker, 2 for 4. Has singled twice and struck out twice. I think we lost Pesky Pole. The Reds have given the Cubs everything, absolutely everything, and now the bullpen needs 6 more outs. Pitch to Walker, right up the box, off of Farnsworth's leg. Gutierrez has it, throws the first for the out. Farnsworth calls off the trainer. He's running around out there kicking that mound like he's a horse, ready to go in the gate. So 2 out. Farnsworth says he's okay. Here's Guerrero. Wilton is 2 for 4. He has singled twice, scored. 8-7 Reds, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Farnsworth deals. Fly ball to right, but Sosa will come in on it, and it's a clean inning. Uh-oh. Danny Graves will come in. Everybody start with your fingernails. After 7.5, 8-7 Reds. Well, first, let's get a pinch hitter in. Matt Stairs will be the pinch hitter. Danny Graves has closed the door 38 out of 44 times. He is 4-8 with 38 saves and a 4.40 ERA. Graves is 27, throws the fastball at 87, is a ground ball pitcher. He faced the Cubs 6 times, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts. He does have a loss and 3 saves. Bernie says last night Beatles and Steve Tate were setting up a draft league that you're participating in. The draft and discussion lasted 7 hours, ending at 4:30 Pacific this morning, in which Bernie turned around and hosted Good Morning America. Graves last pitched on the 30th, so he's had a 1-day rest. He got the save in a 6-4 win over Montreal. He went 12 pitches, a hit, and a strikeout. 4:30 Eastern. Wow. My eyelids and I were having a conversation. Graves has thrown 75 2/3, 73 hits, 38 runs, 37 earned, 5 homers, 16 walks, and 32 strikeouts. He has 1 2-inning save. That came on August 19th against the Brewers. Matt Stairs is a pinch hitter, 188, a homer, and 5 RBI. Overall, 278, 23 homers, and 72 RBI. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. He chased a 2-2 fastball, 1 out. Well, I hope you guys have fun. Steve, Beatles is great for the community, too. Beatles really put the eternity part to the test. Our eternally part to the test. Steve does the best homebrews in Action PC, bar none. Eric Young is 1 for 4. He has a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Graves pitch. Base hit left field. Dunn will pick it up. Young going for 2. The throw to Walker is not in time, and that's Eric Young's 51st double. And the tying run is in scoring position for Ricky Gutierrez, who is 0 for 4. Base hit left field. Young, will he round third? Dunn has it. It's shallow, and Young is going to hold. So the tying run is Young on third as the infield plays in. Gutierrez is the go-ahead run on first, and now Graves has to through the gauntlet of Sammy Sosa, who is 2 for 3 with a triple and a single, and then Fred McGriff. Deep breath time. 54 degrees is the air temperature here at Wrigley, but it must feel like 110 on that mound for Danny Graves. LaRue calms him down. Graves winds and fires. Fly ball, center field. Griffey going back. It's gone! Sammy Sosa has put the Cubs up 10-8. They have got it all back and more. Sosa's 48th. And Flash Gordon has started to warm. This has been that. Oh my goodness. This really has been all that in a bag of chips, hasn't it, gang? What a jam. October baseball at its very best. You kind of wondered what the Reds were going to do. I'm not sure how to put Graves in the 8th. This final week of this season has been all that. I mean, you go back to Seattle clinching on the walk-off grand slam. And this changes the calculus for everybody if the Cubs win this. So here's McGriff, who is 1 for 4. He has singled and driven in a run. And he gets hit. I think that one is a bit intentional. McGriff barks at Graves, and that's it for Danny. He's going to get yanked. Here's Chris Pearsall. Who is in to pick up the pieces. Pearsall is 23. He's making his 13th appearance. He came up on August 31st. So everything has been in the month of September. 1-0 with a 3.97 ERA. Fastball at 92 and a ground ball plus pitcher. And as Bernie says, it ain't over yet. Pearsall pitched a net 6-4 win over Montreal. He went 1 inning, 12 pitches, and a strikeout. 11 1/3, 11 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 2. Yeah, I took care of the vitamin B special K bars in the locker rooms, clubhouses before the games. Yeah, Sosa and Bonds aren't going to reach 60. So Rondell White, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. 10-8 Cubs. Fly ball, right field. Going to drop in front of Jennings. McGriff stops at second. The Cubs are reloading for Michael Tucker, the former Red, who is 0 for 4 in this one and struck out twice. Pearsall delivers. Got him. He swung on and missed a 2-2 fastball. And that'll bring up Bill Miller. It'll be Griffey, Young, and Jennings for the Reds in the 9th. And that saloon door in San Angelo, Texas is going to be swinging there for the last chance. Pitch to Miller. Right back up the box. Pearsall has it. Throws to Cromer. And that will retire the side, but not before Sammy Sosa hits a huge home run. My goodness, 3 runs on 4 hits and no errors. Tom Gordon to close it out. It's the Cubs 10, the Reds 8. You can hear Marty Brenneman going off. Yeah. So Gordon, 33 years old. He is a fastball pitcher at 92 and a fly ball pitcher, which works to the Reds' advantage as the wind is still blowing out there at 14. He is 4-1 with 29 saves. He's only blown 3 all season. He has an earned run average of 204. It's like a Tootsie Roll, Bernie. Everything I think of see becomes an ex-Red Sox player to me, which is true. Against the Reds, 6 appearances, 5 1/3, 4 hits, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. He has 2 saves and hasn't given up a run. He last pitched on the 28th, so he has plenty of rest. In a 6-4 win over Houston, he went 1 inning here at Wrigley, 17 pitches, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. 53 innings for Gordon, 42 hits, 12 runs, all earned. 8 homers. He has walked 13 while striking out 75. Griffey, who has his 22nd homer of the year, a 3-run shot in the 3rd. Young and Jennings. They're current Red Sox, former Red Sox, and future Red Sox. Like in Ireland, it's either raining, just rained, or about to rain. No rain here tonight in Chicago. It is fall. The wind is blowing, and the Cubs need 3 outs. The Reds need 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead. Griffey. Chopper de Gutierrez on the grass is going to have to hurry. And Griffey is out on a bang-banger. Oh, my goodness. The heart of Chicago just jumped in everyone's throat. 1 out. Dimitri Young is 0 for 3. He has scored, walked, and stolen a base. Got him! A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. And so everybody's up. Last chance saloon is Robin Jennings, who is 2 for 4. He has singled, tripled, scored twice. Gordon has only thrown 8 pitches, 10 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Sammy Sosa is going to be your MVP if the Cubs win this. And the Cubs have left on 9. The Reds, 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, and they have left on 6. Gordon, from the wind, right back to flash, and the Cubs win it. Oh my goodness. Yep, we got the whole thing in. The Cubs, in 3 hours and 39 minutes, have beaten the Reds, essentially ended their season. Can do no worse than tied with Arizona right now are the Cubs. Sosa, your digital dice MVP. I gotta do a show out. 3 for 4 with Sammy with 3 RBI. Farnsworth gets the win. Gordon, his 30th save. And Danny Graves, they'll talk about this one in Cincinnati for a long time. He needed to get 6 outs. He got 1. And so real quick before we all go, let's do the games that matter. We start in Florida. They are playing Miami. And Florida beats Montreal. They beat them 3-2. Burnett with a win. Armas Jr. with the loss. Al Fonseca his 26th save. So, Philadelphia, a half-game lead now. They're playing Atlanta. Randy Wolf and Greg Maddux, and Atlanta wins. So Florida and Philly are now tied. Remlinger gets the win. Batalico takes the loss. Abreu, 2 for 4, is 32nd, and 2 RBI. In Tampa, Boston shuts out the Rays 6-0. Casey Fossum, 7-1. Wilson, 11-8. Chris Steins, 3 for 4 with a double. Oh, my goodness. At the stadium, the Yankees keep it at a game and a half. Remember, the White Sox have played for everything that they can. The Yankees beat them 14-4. Mark Wohlers, 4-1. Wright, 3-4. David Justice, a big game, 1 for 3, his 19th with 2 RBI. St. Louis desperately needs to beat Milwaukee and can't do it. DeJean goes to 10-1. Timlin falls to 3-4. J.D. Drew, 2 for 4, is 27th and drives into 6-4 Brewers. San Francisco can clinch a tie for the division if they beat Houston, and they don't, so they cannot clinch today. Reynolds goes to 18-3. Houston beats San Francisco 12-6. Reeder, 13-9. Vinny Castilla, 4 for 5, 2 RBI, and 2 doubles. Jeff Bagwell hits his 30th. Craig Biggio hits his 200th hit. And Houston bangs out 19. Houston has a 3-game lead for best record in the NL with about 5 to play. We told you about Cincinnati and Chicago. Arizona and Colorado in the desert, and the Cubs now have a 1-game lead in the wild card because Colorado beat them 6-3. Arizona, behind Randy Johnson, struck out 11, but they walked 10, and Colorado, really with nothing to play for, stole 5 bases. Mike Hampton goes to 6-9. Randy Johnson, in what may be the biggest loss of the year for the Diamondbacks, falls to 21-5. Shumpert, 1 for 3, steals 3, and walks twice. The Dodgers lose to San Diego, so the Dodgers season is just about done. Rory McIlroy, 6-2. Jesse Orosco, still pitching. He's 0-3. Phil Nevin, 2 for 4, is 36. That will do it for the playoff implications. The rest of the ball games: Mets beat the Pirates 8-7. Minnesota shuts out Detroit 7-0. Brad Radke, a complete game win. Toronto in 10 beats Baltimore 5-2. Cleveland beats Kansas City 8-4. Texas beats Oakland 6-5. Seattle loses to Anaheim 3-2. Now Monday. Oh my goodness. Mets, by the way, pound out 18 hits. Texas hits 5 homers. Troy Glaus has his 40th for the Angels. Jason Giambi, 2 homers, 4 RBI, 3 hits. Philadelphia and Atlanta is the picked game. Person versus Glavine. And so that will be our ball game for you Monday, noon Eastern. Phil's Braves. A flat-footed tie in the East. The Yankees by a game and a half. The Cubs 1 game over Arizona. And Florida and Philly are just 2 back. I think 81 is just too far back. They're 4 back with 5 to go. Thank you so much for watching. A live digital dice around 8 o'clock tonight on Dave's channel. Until then, Ron Juckett, thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Monday at noon, Phillies, Braves, and Skip Carey. Good night.